Welcome to the inaugural On Top the Cage podcast. I'm Ken. I will be your host weekly. This week we have my good friend Dan on the On Top the Cage podcast. We are in the third bay of my garage, affectionately known as the Flying Turtle Lounge. Weekly we will be talking about the NFL games, predicting the games against the spread. The following week we will speak to how we performed, review the week in the National Football League, and do it all over again. Stay with us throughout. You'll get some good advice, as well as there will be a beer challenge that you won't want to miss at the end of the telecast. So, with that being said,
I'm sticking around for.
sticking around for the beer.
Yeah.
The first game we have this week is the Seattle Seahawks traveling all the way across the country to the Atlanta Falcons. The Seahawks are currently -2. The over-under is 49. It's a difficult travel situation, especially with the current pandemic. I don't think the teams are traveling like they normally would. I think they would travel on a Friday. I think they're traveling on Saturdays now, trying to avoid the hotel situation. So, with that being said, the Falcons, they have a new running back in Todd Gurley. He's been nicked up throughout his career, but obviously he's going to be as healthy as he's going to be all season. I do expect the Falcons to perform better than they did last year. They had a really tough year. With that being said, I think there's going to be a high-scoring game. I like Russell Wilson at the end of games. He seems to be magic. I'm going to pick the Seahawks to cover the -2 in Atlanta. What do you think, Dan?
Oh, this is going to be a blowout. Seahawks are going to destroy Atlanta.
Oh, Dan likes the Seahawks. All right.
They're destroying them. Russell Wilson, they're going to the Super Bowl. Seahawks are my pick for the NFC going to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's bold.
This isn't going to be a game.
That's all right. That's
You're
bold.
changing the channel.
All right. The next game we have, I'm pretty sure I know who my friend is going to pick, but the Cleveland Browns travel to one of their arch rivals, the Baltimore Ravens.
Ratbirds.
Yes, the Ravens are favored by 7.5. The over/under on the game is 48. These are two really talented rosters, if you ask me. The Browns have not quite put it together yet. They have a new coach, Kevin Stefanski. I think quite a bit about him. Obviously, I think he should have been the coach last year. I think Freddie Kitchens was wildly over his head.
Yes, agreed.
I also think that the Browns are going to try to control the clock with their solid running game. They probably have the best tandem of running backs in the National Football League with Chubb and Hunt. I like the Browns to keep this game close, frankly. I know the Browns went in last year. I want to say it was week 3 or 4. Rolled them, beat them soundly. The Ravens are favored by 7.5. I like the Ravens to win the game. I don't like them to cover. My pick is the Cleveland Browns.
I agree with Ken. I don't think the Ravens cover or the Browns destroy them like they did last year.
All right, the next game we have on the slate, the Jets are traveling the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are favored by 6.5. The Jets, I haven't seen enough from Sam Darnold. I do like the Bills. The Bills were in the playoffs last year. They choked off that game, if you're asking me, in Houston. Josh Allen started doing some wild things at the end of the game, passing, lateraled the ball randomly. They added Stephon Diggs, a guy who can kind of take the top off the defense. I like the Bills. I think there's going to be a new king of the AFC East this year, and I think it will be the Buffalo Bills. I do like the Bills in this game. The over-under is 40, low-scoring game, but I like the Bills to cover this number.
I like the Bills as well. The Jets have talent with Le'Veon Bell, Sam Darnold, but Adam Gase, I'm not sold on him as being a head coach in the NFL. What's his name? Williams, the defensive coordinator.
Greg Williams? Headhunter Greg Williams?
Greg in there, and the Jets would be a lot better moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know about Williams.
Win 3. Put Greg Williams in.
Oh, goodness. I don't know about that guy. All right, the next game on the slate, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, the new named Las Vegas Raiders.
Vegas Raiders.
Traveling to the Carolina Panthers. The line on this game currently is the Raiders -3. Frankly, I'm not buying it. I like the Panthers in this game, and largely it's because the Raiders are not going to have seen what the Panthers are. The Panthers have a brand new coach, Matt Rule, who ran a wild offense out of Baylor last year. So there's not going to be a whole lot of tape on the Panther team. They have Teddy Bridgewater throwing the ball. I like this game to be a back and forth game. Obviously, the Panthers have McCaffrey as well. I like the Panthers in this game. Frankly, I like them to win the game outright. So I'm taking the points and picking the Panthers in this game.
Going with the Raiders.
Like the Raiders?
Got a new coach, not enough time to work on his new offense together. Raiders, no, I'm going Raiders all the way. John Gruden, he's a veteran coach, got a veteran quarterback, veteran team. They've been together at least 1 year. They're going to roll the Panthers. It's a building year for the Panthers.
It's a very good point you brought up just a second ago. It's very difficult to play these games or bet these games right now because we haven't seen the teams. Because of the pandemic situation, there have been no preseason games. The media got cut off from the team's practices like 2 weeks ago. So it's very difficult to kind of guess these games. Maybe a little tip, wait and watch half the game and bet the 2H line. That's an option for you as well. So I think that's difficult. The next game we have up, the Chicago Bears are at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are currently favored by 3 points. They are a trendy pick. I happen to be a Bears homer. I am a diehard Chicago Bears football fan. With that being said, my pick may be a little bit jaded. Trubisky won the quarterback competition from what we could see. Obviously, once again, there was no preseason games over Nick Foles, who the Bears brought in. Trubisky's never lost to the Lions in his life. I think that totals 5 or 6 games to this point. The other thing about this, the Bear defense is really good. It travels. Recently, Kenny Galladay, the star receiver for the Lions, has been downgraded to doubtful for the game. I like the Bears, frankly, to win this game, and so I'll certainly take the points.
This one's a tough one. Detroit, they missed a couple practice days. The Bears, question at quarterback. I think the Bears win it outright, though. Because of those missed practice days.
We're on the same page, so. Next game up, the Colts, the new look Colts at the Jaguars. The Colts are minus 7.5. Over under is 45.5. The Colts are a very new look team. They brought in Phillip Rivers to play quarterback for them. They have they bolstered the running game as well. Marlon Mack is there. They brought in Jonathan Taylor, who I think a ton of coming out of Wisconsin.
Jags are a mess.
The Jags have been selling off their players. Last year they traded off their best player, Jalen Ramsey. This year they did it again with their defensive end. I don't know if they're tanking for Trevor Lawrence. I still don't like giving up that many points. On the road, I hate doing that. I'm going to take the Jags, even though I don't feel good about it. I'm going to take the Jags in the 7.5.
I got to take the Colts. I just don't see the Jags being able to generate that much offense with what they got left. I don't see it. The Colts with Phillip Rivers, I think they're going to come out to prove something and show everybody that Phillip's here and we're ready to play.
Next game up, the Green Bay Packers, arch nemesis of my Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a player, has been a player for a long time. I'm shocked that they didn't add some weapons for him in the draft. They're a little bit light at the receiver position outside of Devontae Adams. They actually drafted his predecessor, or his successor, I should say, in Jordan Love. The Vikings, they don't have their star pass rusher, Daniel Hunter, but they did get recently in trade from Jacksonville, the defensive end. I really struggle with this game. Personally, I'm going to stay away from this game. The Vikings are favored by 2.5. As much as it hurts me to say it, I'm going to pick the Packers.
I got to agree. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to will that team to win, even though he doesn't have the weapons. He's the difference maker here, clearly on the field between the quarterbacks. So I'm going with the Packers in this one.
Yeah, as much as I hate it, Rodgers is magic at the end of games as well. Next game up on the slate, the Miami Dolphins travel to the New England Patriots. The line on this game is the Patriots minus 6.5. The over-under is 42. Vegas not expecting a lot of points in this game. The Patriots are very new look. Cam Newton running the show there. I have no idea what we're going to get out of Cam. I'm assuming he's healthy. The Dolphins, they have a good defense. I would like to see Tua get in the game sooner than later. I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to start. I'm worried about this game, but I'm going to take the points with the Dolphins, considering the over-under is 42, and the number being pretty high with the Patriots minus 6.5.
It's a tough one. Fitzmagic is fantastic in the month of September every year.
That's about it.
New England at home at Gillette. I don't care who's playing; they're pretty tough at home. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on this and Cam Newton.
I don't blame you. It's tough. It's tough to pick this stuff with the Dolphins not having had a lot of success over the last few years. Next game up, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to, get this, the Washington football team.
The Redskins.
Yeah, a team with no name. In regards to the Eagles, the line on this game is the Eagles minus 6. The over/under is 42.5. The whole key to the Eagles' success is Carson Wentz and his health.
Absolutely.
He hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout a full season and probably his full extent in the National Football League. They were incredible that year, and he got hurt. I want to say at the last game of the season, Foles took him to a Super Bowl win. With that being said, Miles Sanders, he's a second-year running back. I like him a lot. He's out of Penn State. I think he's due for a big year. I'm not going to pick a football team that doesn't have a name. I'm going to go with the Eagles minus 6.
Yeah, it's a tough call on this one with all the turmoil with Washington. Dwayne Haskins, I want to see that kid perform well. I just don't see it this week. I think the Eagles take this one.
Yeah. We have Haskins. We got a couple of Ohio State guys here. I know. I'm looking forward to seeing Chase Young. I think he's going to be a dominant defensive player. I hope he gets off to a good start. With that being said, I struggle. I am going to take the Eagles minus a 6. That ends the slate of the 1 o'clock games on the East Coast, noon for Central Time. It's Mountains 11, and on the West Coast, 10 a.m. starts.
10 or 9? No, 10
a.m. 10 a.m. on the West Coast.
Nothing like drinking beer at 10 a.m.
Oh, I know. That would be a struggle for me if I lived on the West Coast.
Hey,
I might
chopping eggs and a beer.
I might need to live in England and be better off me the game starting later. In any event, the game's up. The 4 o'clock Eastern time starts. The Chargers travel to the Bengals. This is an intriguing game on a couple of different fronts. The Chargers are minus 3. The over-under is 42.5. Both teams have new quarterbacks this year. Tyrod Taylor, former Browns quarterback, takes over the reins in San Diego. At least currently, I know that the Chargers drafted Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I think he's eventually going to be the starter. Taylor's a playmaker, though. With that being said, we got the Bengals, we got Burrow. Joe Mixon last year was fantastic down the stretch.
He's good.
AJ Green is back. We'll see. I know he's getting up there in age. We got Tyler Boyd. They have some weapons on that Bengals team. I like the Bengals to win this game actually outright. I'm going to certainly take the points. I believe in Joe Burrow. I think he's going to have a good start. I am going with the Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals as well. Chargers got to come to Cincinnati. It's Joe Burrow's home game. He lives in Ohio, grew up in Ohio.
I would say I have a lot of fan support there, but not going to happen.
No one understands, but I looked for the Bengals to come out and beat LA Chargers.
Speaking of that, I know the Browns are allowed, I think, 6,000 fans in their stadium.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if Cincinnati's allowed any. I know my team, Chicago, they're not allowing anybody in for the first month. There were quite a few last night if you watched the game. The Texans at the Chiefs, I think they were allowing, like, I don't know what the percentage was, but I think I heard 22,000 fans in the stand.
I'm not sure.
They were making quite a bit of noise for what they can. I think they're going to try to pipe in noise to these stadiums.
It sounded like it was a packed house.
Yeah, they're going to try to do this, but once again, it's another thing that gets involved with betting. We haven't seen the preseason. You don't have that home field advantage like you would, especially when the game's tight, it's late, the crowd's going nuts, the playmakers can't hear the call from the quarterback. It's another dynamic that gets involved here. With that being said, the next game up on the slate, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 3.5.
I can't believe this isn't a Sunday night primetime game or a Monday night game. I mean, that's ridiculous for these networks to not have this game so everybody can see it.
I disagree, but I'll talk about it in a second. The over-under is 48.5. They're expecting lots of points in this game. I like Bruce Arians as a coach of Tampa Bay. They brought in like a chunk of the New England team. I mean, Tom Brady, he's proven it
Two guys.
throughout the years. Gronkowski.
That's a chunk.
Yeah, that's a chunk. There's a chunk, but they have wild amounts of weapons. Mike Evans, I think Godwin. They brought in Leonard Fournette. They have all these guys, LaShawn McCoy. I'm not buying it yet. I still buy Drew Brees. I buy Alvin Kamara. I buy the best receiver in the National Football League, Ohio State alum Michael Thomas.
Right.
I am taking the Saints minus 3.5. I think they're going to cover the number.
That's a tough one, -3.
3.5. You got the hook there.
3.5, yeah. I can't go against Brady. I'm taking Brady. I'm going with the Bucks, the Pirates.
I gotta see these guys match. There's no way. I'm not doing that. I'm not buying the Buccaneers until I see it. I do like
New
Arians.
Orleans in the pirate ship.
Oh, goodness.
Instead of flying, they're taking the boat.
I'm not buying it. Not buying it. All right, fair enough. Next game we are able to disagree here. The Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, travel out to San Francisco. The NFC representative for the Super Bowl last year. Great defense, Garoppolo. Kyle Shanahan, a pretty innovative coach. They're favored by 7. The over-under is 48. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, starting his second year, is obviously an electric player. Don't let him get out of the pocket. He'll absolutely kill you. They added DeAndre Hopkins this year, in my opinion, the second best receiver next to Michael Thomas in the National Football League. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to put on the field here. I'm going to take the points with Arizona. I think San Francisco is going to win this game. I think Arizona is going to get a late score and put the number under the 7. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals and the points.
I'm going with 49ers. Divisional game. They're at home. They were in the Super Bowl. Most of the guys returning. I don't see that Arizona's at their level yet. I'm going with 49ers.
Fair enough. All right, we are on to the Sunday Night Football game. I always love the Sunday Night Football game, largely because I'm a big fan of Chris Collinsworth. He's got the right amount of knowledge, ex-player, and hokiness to him. I really like him. He's hokey. I don't know.
Plus, it's laundry day.
Yeah. Always. In the evening, I do it in the morning. Anyway, what's game day food this week for you guys?
I don't know. I'm looking at the forecast. I am not certain yet what I'm doing.
I'm not grilling. I'm making chili. I think I make the best chili probably this side of the Mississippi. That is on the menu at our household.
Okay.
All right. Sunday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys.
Freaking September and hot here. You're having chili already.
Oh, it's chili season, baby. All right, Dallas Cowboys travel to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams have this awesome, gorgeous stadium.
Rams
It's called SoFi Stadium.
Rams.
It's so pretty. I don't know what they spent on that thing. No fans are going to be there. The Cowboys are favored by 2.5. There's a lot of people on this Cowboy bandwagon this year, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's not that I'm not sure why. They have a talented offense. Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. They have great receivers. They added CeeDee Lamb. They have a ton of firepower. What I like? I like Sean McVay, and I think Sean McVay is a really great young mind. They're getting 2.5. They're at home. I like the Rams, and I like them to win the game outright.
I agree. Rams all the way. Oh, brand new stadium. You got to show up in your new house and play. I mean, Dallas doesn't have a chance.
Big number on the over-under. 52 is that one. We'll see. I mean, that one might even eclipse it. I know last night's game, it fell right on. I think when it closed in Vegas, the over-under was 53.5 last night in the Texans-Houston game. The late field goal, I think pushed it over. I think to 54. Anyway, that was a betting nightmare for the people who were on the over/under, depending on which side you were on. Monday night, for the first week of the season, we always have 2 games on Monday night. It's a little bit odd. what we have with the Steelers visiting the Giants in the opening game. The Steelers are -6. It's the return of Big Ben. I know Dan loves that stuff.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So they're back. The Giants have Daniel Jones, a quarterback going into his second year. Many times quarterbacks take a big leap in their second year. I know that's what New York is hoping for. You know, they got Barkley. I think the Steelers are a quality team still. I'm going to take the Steelers. I'm going to lay the wood. I'm going to lay the 6 points. I like the Steelers in the first opening Monday night game.
Steelers are quality. You got a second-year quarterback with a brand new coach, brand new offense. Somehow Freddie Kitchens got a job again, and he's the tight end coach there. Hopefully he's not touching the offense. I'm going with the Steelers, even though it pains me to say that. But they're definitely the better team all the way around in this one.
The last game, Monday night late game, the Titans -2 visiting the Broncos. I will most likely be in bed by at least halftime of this game. The Titans, with that tremendous run last year, were unstoppable with Derrick Henry just running the ball down people's throats. They took out the Patriots. They took out the Ravens, who were just on a wild hot streak to end the season. They ran into a buzzsaw with the Kansas City Chiefs, who were the eventual Super Bowl champions. The Denver Broncos. This game is Titans -2, if I didn't mention that. Over-under is 41, not expecting a lot of points. The altitude's still there. Fans won't be there, but it's always a little bit difficult to play in Denver. Denver also has a second-year quarterback in Drew Lock. We'll see how he does. They added quite a bit of firepower to their offense. They already had Cortland Sutton. They added 2 receivers in the draft, Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama, and that water bug receiver, KJ Hamler out of Penn State. I mean, super quick in the slot. I'm not comfortable with the pick. I'm taking the Broncos. I think they're going to win the game.
No way. Titans are going to win this game.
Yeah?
That's the only thing they prepared for. They dismantled the Browns last year. They're going to dismantle the Denver Broncos.
If it gets late and they got the running game going, it's very hard to stop them from controlling the ball with Henry. That is your complete slate. Normally we're going to be shooting this Thursday evening before the Thursday night game. I will tell you, I know it's gratuitous. I was 100% on the Chiefs -9.5 last night. With that being said, it happens to be 9/11, tough day in our country's history, but there's a fun thing about the 9/11 date. It's when the greatest catch ever happened in the National Football League. And people say Odell Beckham. No, it wasn't Odell Beckham. It was a Monday night game. I think I was a teenager,
Joe in the stands.
14, 15 years old. It was a Monday night game. The Packers were playing the Bears. There was an extra. I think the Bears scored a touchdown. They were kicking an extra point. The extra point goes up, and this guy, this meatball head, like jumps out of the stands, times it perfectly, catches the football, and falls like 20-some feet down in the tunnel.
Into the tunnel.
Now today, he's escorted off the field. What happened then? He kept the football and got interviewed by the Monday Night Football crew. So that's fun.
And he didn't even snap his femur.
Right. Fun fact there. So I promised you at the end of this, we were going to do a beer challenge. We're going to make that happen right now. What Dan and I are going to do, we're going to duct tape 2 Bud Lights to our garage door that's going to be down. It's going to come up. The beer's going to come down. Hopefully in our mouths, more likely on our shirts and face. Stay tuned. You're going to see this. All right, as promised, we're going to do the garage door beer challenge. We have 2 Bud Lights duct taped to the wall, or to the garage door. Once we hit the garage door, the beers go up and then they come down. The challenge is to see who can get the most in their mouth. I'm guessing my friend's going to do better at this than I am. Hopefully I picked the game better.
Without drowning.
All right, here we go. Nervous?
This is fun.
Oh.
I think I got more in my nose.
I don't think I ever did very well. But that has been your first episode of On Top the Cage. We will be back next week. We'll review the games. I'll tell you how we did. We'll pick the games again next week. I promise you won't want to miss. We are going to have a special beer tasting next week. Special thanks to Jess, who created our logo, On Top the Cage. We will see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.